The morning felt different. Instead of drills or panels, Harris carried something heavier than any tool. He dropped it onto the bench with a thud that echoed through the shop. Thick blue book, its cover stamped with 3 letters, NE. We leaned closer. Kevin squinted. Kevin, what is that? A dictionary? Harris smiled faintly. Harris, in a way, this is the National Electrical Code. Every wire you pull, every breaker you size, every panel you install, this book decides whether you pass or fail. Maria raised her brows. Maria, so it's like the law, Harris. Exactly. The code is law. It is not suggestion. It is not advice. It is the standard. Inspectors use it. Contractors must obey it. You break the code and you pay fines. You break it badly enough and you lose your license. The foreman stepped in, his voice carrying weight. Foreman, I've seen men fired because they thought inspectors were negotiable. They are not. Inspectors are authority. Their job is enforcement. They are not your enemy, but they will not overlook your mistakes. Harris opened the book and flipped through pages like scripture. Harris, let's start with the basics. Code, standard, regulation, compliance. These words matter. Compliance means following the rule. Violation means you broke it. Violation brings fines, delays, sometimes disaster. He pointed to me. Harris apprentice, what does clearance mean? I remembered yesterday's lesson about space around panels, John. Working space distance, safe area required to access equipment. Harris, correct? The code requires 36 inches in front of panels. Less than that, and you fail instantly. He moved to the vocabulary list he had written on the board. Inspector, permit, bonding, grounding, continuous load, label, marking, identification. The words looked ordinary, but in Harris's voice, they sounded like weapons. Maria whispered. Maria, it feels like we're soldiers learning the rules of war. Harris overheard and nodded. Harris, exactly. The NEC is not bureaucracy, it is survival. It is the handbook that keeps electricity from killing. The foreman gave a story. Foreman. Years ago, a contractor skipped permits, arguing the job was small. The inspector shut him down, fined him, and blacklisted his company. He thought he was saving time. Instead, he lost his reputation. Never think you are above the code. Kevin frowned, arms crossed. Kevin, but isn't the code complicated? Thousands of pages? How are we supposed to memorize it? Harris, you don't memorize every page. You learn to navigate. You know the articles and sections, you know where to find answers, and you never argue with facts. He handed me the book. Its weight felt enormous, more than paper. I flipped to an article about branch circuits. The language was precise, almost cold. Yet behind every line I saw Harris's meaning. Each number, each clearance, each percentage was written in blood, learned from accidents and fires. Maria leaned over my shoulder. Maria, look at this. Continuous loads must be calculated at 125%. That's why breaker sizing matters, Harris. Good. The code is not there to slow you down. It is there to keep wires from overheating, panels from burning, families from losing homes. The foreman gestured toward the wall. Foreman, tomorrow you'll face a mock inspection. The panel in the lab is rigged with violations. Too little clearance, undersized breaker, missing GFCI low conduit. You will find them, or fail like the contractor who lost his license. Harris closed the book with finality. Harris, remember these words. Code, compliance, inspector, violation, safety. Write them in your notebook. Etch them into your mind, because once you step onto a real site, the inspector will not care if you forgot. That night, I stayed late. The others went home, but I sat under the shop light with the blue book in front of me. At first, the words blurred, heavy and endless. But then I saw them differently. Not as rules to memorize, but as a map of hidden dangers. A map that could keep me alive if I learned to read it. For the first time, the NEC did not look boring. It looked like a survival manual. A book of law, written not in ink, but in lives saved.